What we see is the intersection of all the issues in the market today. You have political, you have economic, you have just consumer growth and technology growth and things like that are all coming together that are pressuring retailers from a lot of different directions. They have to look at how they're going to really start driving efficiency while they're also looking at protecting their own business interests and how they're going to execute on that going forward.
So we're seeing businesses take a very responsible approach when it comes to things like reviewing what technologies they're currently using, making sure that they're optimizing spend at every part of the organization so that ultimately they can grow the business in a very responsible way.
Advertising has got more expensive. It's got tougher to get in front of your customers. And I think, we're seeing more customers, our retailers, starting to partner and get creative with how they're getting in front of their consumers and just really getting creative for their marketing strategies.
Performance advertisers are looking to attract and retain more customers than they ever have before, mostly because of the macroeconomic changes that are happening right now, and their investments are having to be curated in a way that's much more prescribed than before. So we see that as a big trend in retail, but also for direct-to-consumer brands.
We're seeing that customers now more than ever, they want to feel represented by the brands they're shopping in, right? So, and that really goes to the entire sales funnel. So that, starting from the ads they see on Instagram all the way to the product page and the visuals they see there, they want to feel seen and represented. So for brands, that mean, they can't really compromise on how many visuals they produce. They need to have something that is tailored to basically anyone, no matter where they're located in the world.
Being more conscious about sustainability and overall, like with the kind of rising consumer. So things around re-commerce, sustainability, traceability, understanding your impact all the way through the whole funnel, from even how you're receiving or how it's shipped to you and all the sort of impact it might have.
The consumer themselves is driving, how do I make choice? And how do I make choice based on a whole range of things, whether or not that be the value of the product, the economics of the product, or whether or not that be the sustainability of the product or the dietary of the product, whatever it may be. Consumers are looking for that transparency into that information.
Customers are seeking convenience. They're seeking flexibility. They want to have unique relationships with retailers. It puts unique demands on systems and processes. And it's a crossroads here. Do they do the same thing they've done for the last 10, 20 years? Or do they look at change in terms of both software, technology stack, how they envision their networks and topologies? But this is the time to start to evaluate. And really, it's been the time to start to evaluate.
There are consumers that won't even buy something if they can't shop for it on an app anymore. If retailers are not meeting those needs for technology, ease of use, meeting the consumer where they're at, I think they're going to fall behind very rapidly.
Retailers will need to do the right amount of research to make sure they're at par with the online, not only experience, but the pricing itself, because that's where the rubber hits the road, and those are the details that drive the traffic back and the brand loyalty as well.
I think the consumer in 2023 is really looking for ways to merge the multiple channels of buying. They want to be able to buy online, in store. They want to be able to do an online pickup. They want to have home delivery. So the consumer is just looking for a variety of ways to get the product from the store to the consumer's hands. And that's a real challenge for today's retailers, trying to come up with the technology and the good look and feel to make the consumers come to their store versus their competitors.
Shopping habits are changing and they're not going away. So you have to embrace new technologies in order to get consumers to really start building your relationships back with these brands. So I really think it's important that all the brands look at different types of technologies and do some exploration on how they can really leverage the new technologies of AI, of AR, of VR to really connect with their consumer base out there.
It's important to know, to identify those customers and their preferences, to be able to then target them with messaging that addresses those preferences or those behaviors, and then to be able to deliver a solution that helps them make that product selection.
The goods had to get to the right place at the right time, at the right price point, with the right fulfillment options. to win that business. So I would say this serve me, know me, don't waste my time type of consumer is going to be even more so this year and go into the next decade.
Having a really solid data strategy is going to be so important in order to implement a lot of the new technologies like artificial intelligence to drive personalized customer experiences and ultimately deliver on those customer expectations of a connected journey across all channels and all platforms.
Again, with economic uncertainty, I think a lot of consumers right now are buying what they need as opposed to what they want. So I think product storytelling is going to be really important, right? Why do you need something that might be classified as more of a want? I think that's number one. I think second is really a data-driven approach. So retailers have a lot of data. Consumer behavior has changed a lot over the last couple of years with the pandemic and now post-pandemic. And I think data is the only way to really capture those changes in real time and be able to respond to it in a meaningful way.
There are some trends of more and more hybrids, so obviously BOPIS that we're seeing, but also more and more digital in-store. However, I still believe that the brick and mortar store is there to stay as well. People just want a different experience, and also with the labor shortage, more and more you'll want digital to help the in-store experience, the in-store staff.
Retailers are needing to be more lean than ever. And so that means that finding and retaining and giving a career path to their associates and employees is so utterly critical, because in the long run, it saves costs. And so one of the things we're also seeing related to that is a need to consolidate technology stacks. So how can you make the employee or associate experience seamless with one suite of technology versus buying all kinds of different point solutions to make that workflow experience very easy, accessible, convenient, and impactful for the associate.